Hi there, it's Anna here today. I'm going to give you a little presentation on how to use these 3 years old DIY foam stamps with acrylic paint to make prints. And I've just put some acrylic paint here on my palette, and then I've brayered it onto my brayer, and now I'm just going to apply it onto the stamp to create this fun three-toned image. And then I'll just take a piece of paper and stamp the image down so I can create a background. And you could also do this with textile paint, I think, and try and print textiles. I just don't know how well the stamp will hold with different media. But this is the image you get, and the stamp doesn't get any damage, so you can use it. The cleaning is a little bit tricky because you have to be careful that when you clean it with baby wipe, for example, that you don't get any tiny bits, that they don't come off from the background, because it's just sticking to the background with this thin layer of adhesive. So when cleaning this, just do it right afterwards, or wash it under running water, just very carefully, and you get all the paint off, and you can reuse. Look like here, so it's coming a little bit off, but if you're careful you can do that and it will work. So let's make another print. So you can print directly onto the paper, or you can do something really fun. You can take the color, you can apply it onto your stamp, or you can apply the ink directly, the paint directly into your stamp, and then go on printing. I'll make a second pattern here, and then I'll do a jelly print using this stamp, so you can see what you can do also with using these DIY stamps. So there are so many ideas, this is just one idea. And actually when the background was a little bit more wet, I got a nicer stamp image. Can you see the difference? This is a little bit grainy there, so that the paint didn't stick everywhere, but this time, because I wiped it with the baby wipe before and applied the acrylic paint, I have really smooth and nice stamped image here. And you could use textile paints, for example, and print canvas if you want to. I don't know the consistency of a textile paint and how it reacts with the foam, so you would just have to test it. Because I'm a paper crafter, I don't do that, so or I haven't tried it myself, so I can't guarantee that it works and that how long these DIY stamps will hold. But it's just an idea, and I suggest you give it a go and try it yourself. And next I'm just going to take a piece of tissue paper. This is something that is just leftovers from some kind of parcel I received with the post, and I'm just going to stamp some images on it because I can use them for mixed media projects of all types. And I said to you that I'm going to do a gel print, so let's do that. I'll clean the stamp before. Forgot about what I was doing. Okay, so I'm just gently giving it a little wipe so it's a little bit cleaner, because I don't want to have the colors mixed. And that's it. And then I'm just going to apply just a little bit paint, and since I already have paint there, I'm just going to take it from there, and that probably even is too much, so I'm just wiping the colors from the palette. That one dried up. Let's put a little bit there. And I'm just taking a little bit of color, probably too much already. And where's my towel? Clean this one a little bit up so it doesn't smear the colors too much. Want to have a clean image to be able to show you what I mean. And then I'm just going onto this gel plate. I'm using these really tiny ones from Jelly Arts, and I'm making this ombre effect with these colors here. And then I'll just press this stamp onto the gel plate, which will just lift the color off like that and create a really nice pattern here. Can you see that? And then I can go and take a piece of white paper or cardstock or tissue or whatever I want to add this image onto and press it in there. Usually you could, like with the big gel plates, you do it like this. You place the tissue paper on top and then you just carefully wipe it in there so the color sticks, the paint sticks. But as these are so small, you can actually use them like stamps and then just lift here. And you get this really beautiful image. Can you see that? So I've now transferred this image with the gel plate into this tissue paper, and I can use that as a starting point for something else. And if this hasn't dried up yet quite, or let me put a little bit water on it, I can even try and save the paint from this stamp here, what's left of the paint when I rolled it with the brayer. And I get this really nice image looking all the way through into the tissue paper, and I can let that dry, and then I can, you know, use it as like a decoupage paper or whatever. So as you can see, these also work really nicely with gel plate, acrylic paints. And I'm just, because this is so much fun, I'm just going to do a second one and mix the colors a little bit. Just go around and get fun color tones here. And let's go all the way there too, so we get this. And then I have the second image here, because back 3 years ago I made these stamps with the die cut die, and you have been asking about the acrylic paint and how these hold, and these have been holding for 3 years now. So, and this one I hardly ever used, but this is also one that I made. So I could go now and make some butterfly images or whatever you have at home. And then I've got this image here on my gel plate. Then I put it onto a paper, a tissue paper or cardstock, press it down, or press the paper onto the gel plate and make sure it sticks to it, and then gently remove it, and this image is now on my tissue paper, which looks really nice actually. So that's the basic idea. And what I do is I clean the stamps immediately afterwards with water and baby wipes, because if the acrylic paint dries on them, then it sticks there. It doesn't come off that easy anymore. So it's easier if you want to have them cleaned right away, or you just let it. If you're using these only for this type of purpose, then you don't actually have to clean them that well either, because the lifespan of such a stamp is not forever, and these are DIY stamps, so you are anyhow counting on it that they will at some point come to the end of their lifespan. I mean, you created these for such purposes anyhow, so at some point they will get damaged, but as long as you can work with them, why not? That's the fun idea behind this this foam stamp idea, so that you can do different things with them and they last as long as they do. Okay, what should we do now? I kind of love the gel print thing with this stamp. This creates such a gorgeous pattern. And these dies are not anymore. It's been 3 years ago, so when I created these, so these dies are not available at the Elizabeth Craft Design store anymore. But imagine taking any type of intricate flower pattern, background dies, and creating similar types of stamps yourself and using them for different paper crafting, mixed media projects. How fun would that be? And you can use them with stampings, you can use them with, I think I haven't tried sprayings yet either. So let's take a spray ink and see what happens. I'll be right back. So what should we take? Let's take 2 colors that are really bold. I've got these really old Mr. Huey's sprayings from Studio Calico. And I'll just go in, and if it works, and add a little bit spray. Oh, I made a mess. Never mind. So I've got 2 colors in there. If I want to, I could go over it with a sprayer. I don't know if it helps. We'll see. So I've got this color also here, so I could now go and use this color for a background to create a fun effect. You know, never put anything to waste. And then just add this stamped image. I just sprayed at one area, so it's not going to be everywhere, the color. And look, you can create nice stamped images also with spray inks. So just go and experiment. Just give it a go, see what happens. And the second generation stamp still looks really lots of fun. I like the fact that it like kind of disappears on the surroundings here on the edges, so it's not that crisp, but it's just like a hue. And I don't know, you could do spraying, stampings, embossing ink, acrylic paints, and I don't know, maybe some kind of pastel pens, maybe, if they are soft enough, so you wouldn't have to rub too hard on this, because then it would come off probably, because it's not that sticky, the background. But, you know, there are lots and lots and lots of possibilities that you can experiment with and give it a go and just have fun with it. And now I still have so much spray ink there, so I could actually go and do another print with the rest of the residue ink, that's still spray ink that's still there, and I still get a nice image. I can go like 1,000 times, because probably the foam absorbs. Look, there's a really big concentration of color, so I can like go and create pattern as long as it works. And then I get just random patterns onto a tissue, and then I can use this tissue later for something fun. Of course, when it's a real project, I would take a nice piece of tissue. These are just residues from packaging somewhere. And I can also go in and add the paint like this, so adapt the stamp into the paint. But of course you get a different result, you get a different type of print. It's more, it's not that smooth. It looks like, you know, you have concentrations of paint. At some areas you have less paint. So if you use a brayer, you get a really nice result. There's not enough paint there anymore. So let's put some more. So if you take a brayer to spread the paint on this stamp image, it's much more even and you get a nicer result. So maybe consider that too. And if it seems that it's dry, add a few drops water on top and it's still good to go. So let's see how that works. Much nicer, as you can see, because you get a more even coverage. Then add a few drops of water. That's just regular water in a spray bottle. And do a second generation. And even that still works. And then clean this if you want to. If you don't mind it getting a little bit painty and dirty, then just leave it like this, because you know what purpose you're going to use it for. If you want it squeaky clean, you will probably not get it that clean anymore, because you have all the spray ink in there everywhere. But you can still go over it and wipe it really gently with a wet baby wipe, or take a wet towel. And you get some of the paint off, and it still doesn't ruin the stamp. Of course, if you go up and down and rub really hard, you will lose these pieces here, because they stick with a thin layer of adhesive onto the black foam there. But be gentle, and it works really nice. So I hope I could help to give you some kind of idea what you could do and how it works with different types of media. These really fine details here, they might come off or slightly come off, but if you let it dry and press it in there, probably it will stick back in. Like you can see, these have been used a lot, and they've changed the color a little bit depending on what kind of paint I've been using or what kind of media I've been using, but they still work. Because also the clear stamps, you get some stamping stuck onto them and they change color during time, but you still don't get damaged bad stamp images because of that. So give it a go. That's my suggestion. And have a fun time playing with this, because this is just an additional idea to make more out of your dies and to incorporate this type of patterns into your mixed media projects, card making. If you want to print fabric, give it a go. I can't guarantee how the fabric paints react with this type of stamps, because I don't have them here. I would have tested them too, but I'm mostly a paper crafter, so I can't do that test at the moment. I'm very sorry. But sprayings work, acrylic paints work, so just have fun. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into what you can do with paints and these stamps, and make some fun stamps yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye!